Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today, we've got Avind Maharaj from SMI Brokers. Avind, can I ask you to introduce yourself and your company to us, please?
Hi, Charmel. Thank you. Yes, we are SMCA, SM Consultants and Advisory. Just in summary, our insurance division has been in existence for 32 years. And we specialize in short-term and long-term insurances, investments. And recently, we have extended our business to provide accounting and taxation services as well. We aim to provide a one-stop shop to service our clients. And our executive consists of two experienced brokers and a chartered accountant. So with this formula, the sky's the limit, I suppose, in the financial industry.
Thanks for that. So can you tell us, when it comes to insurance, especially for businesses, including the PI, what are the considerations business owners must take into account when looking at the different types of insurance that exist?
Sure. Let's start with PI or professional indemnity. Charmel, this provides cover for professionals, in particular in terms of advice and services provided. So this type of category of cover generally applies to doctors, lawyers, security firms, even insurance brokers like myself, as it gives us some kind of indemnity against incorrect advice on any service or advice rendered. Look, perhaps the best way to explain it also, just to communicate what PI is clearly, let's take an example of a doctor. If a medical doctor operates on you and you actually come out in a worse condition than when you went in, he has a potential professional indemnity claim on his hands. As a doctor, he takes a certain oath and swears by that oath to always provide a service of a certain level. And in the event that he causes more damage, intentionally or unintentionally, then compensation is required to be paid. And of course, the PI policy kicks in and the claim is evaluated and cover is then granted or not based on the merits of the claim. But that essentially is what professional indemnity covers across the various professional industry players accordingly, within their specific domains. But just to answer you a bit more broadly on that, look, it is a broad question. Business insurance encompasses commercial business, industrial, as well as agricultural. However, each business must consider and be cognizant of their major risks. And this will enable, a fit-for-purpose insurance policy to be put into place, and one that you are getting bang for buck for, which is the most important thing in today's times. In general, Charmel, the main areas of claims, in commercial business are, I would say, motor vehicle claims being the most frequent. Especially now during COVID, we experiencing petty theft incidences. That's on the increase. Luckily, we have not been seeing, violent theft incidences, although these are still in existence. There's also been an upturn in lightning and power surge or weather-related claims, acts of God, storm and water damage, etc. We've also seen an increase in staff dishonesty. Fidelity cover is the aspect that covers that, especially in business. You need to cover yourself against potential theft from your own employees. And then, of course, we have the fire section. Charmel, are you still with?
No, I'm still with you. I think when we consider insurance, when people start cutting costs, insurance is one of those things that sometimes makes it onto the list. And I think we really need to just manage our risks and think about the consequences of for example, cutting down on insurance. So Avind, what advice do you have for small businesses, in terms of insurance? What going, so that in the future they don't have experience a lot of hassle.
Charmel, there's a couple of considerations I'd like to share on that one. This is intended to apart from just giving a better understanding of how to manage your insurance policy, so that you have a valid claim should a loss event occur. Look, the main thing is what we find is, a lot of customers or clients, they do not service their fire equipment. That's point number one. And a lot of their staff members are not even trained on how to utilize firefighting equipment in the event of a fire. So sometimes this is thrown by the wayside, when it's quite important. This could turn a very large loss into a very minimal one if you act quickly. And then the second point is maintenance. Maintenance is not covered by any insurance policy. Neither is the resulting damages due to a lack of maintenance usually covered. And this is perhaps the biggest point where not only small businesses, but any insurance client sometimes, needs clarity on. But again, my recommendation there is whoever you get to repair your roof or to repair your vehicle, please make sure you give it to a professional person, and a person who can offer you a guarantee on that workmanship to ensure that, your interests are met in the event of a claim. And then, of course, the last one in terms of considerations is compliance to the rule of law. By this, I mean, if you're driving a motor vehicle, you need to be correctly licensed to drive that particular type of vehicle. You also need to comply to all municipal bylaws within your jurisdiction, as well as all fire regulations if you want your insurance policy to remain valid. So these three considerations, if you are, within your business taking care of these things and you're cognizant of what they are, you're going to be really doing well in ensuring that you are upkeeping to the requirements of your insurance policy to ensure that your claim will always be validated. But just going back to your initial question, how can we save small business owners any distress in the future? The main point I'd like to make here is managing your cash flow is just as important as managing your asset risk. Remember, your assets are used to generate income in your business. So if you pluck the goose that lays the golden egg, you're not going to have any more golden eggs. So of course, that's the name of the game. I'd like to say a good business owner can see a risk approaching or failure approaching, has the foresight to mitigate it accordingly. And, therefore, in these trying times, especially where money is tight, insurance is far more necessary in ensuring business continuity in the event of a large loss in the business, and where the business owner himself cannot carry that cost to bring the business back to a state of continuity. So in summary, it is of extreme importance, I can't stress it anymore, for small business owners to be aware and cognizant of the risks posed to his business. And as a result, this will enable people like myself, us brokers, to define policies that are really matched to the main risks of the business, and he's paying for that accordingly and not for frills and fancies that he may not require.
No, thank you so very much for sharing your wisdom with us, Avind. I think it's so important that small businesses, risk management isn't something that you do once you hit a certain target, or, if you're medium or large, it really starts with the small guys as well. So thank you so very much for taking time out to have this conversation. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Charmel. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thanks.